Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, September the 4th, 2022. Tuesday, September 4th, 2022. Not too much happened today, just some, conversation going on. I'm actually really liking the interactions between Tucker and Diane because until now, Diane has pretty much been able to run her con on everybody. Tucker knows the true story, knows the real deal. Diane's whole actions are different when she's around Tucker. See, Tucker knows what she's been up to, and it's making her very, very uneasy. She even said, I did my part. I gave you the information, on the Abbotts and Ashley, you know. Well, hmm, okay. What did you give him? What kind of information? What did you really tell him? Because it really wasn't, oh, guess what? Jack had a muffin for breakfast. Oh, guess what? Ashley snarled at me and she's putting her heads together with Nikki. What information did she really give him on the Abbotts? And she's not stupid. He would not have wanted superficial stuff. What kind of deal is that? What, my grandson is adorable? I mean, no. There's something more that she was doing. She provided him more of a service than just simple Ashley's in town, Ashley's out of town. Jabot's buying Marchetti. My son gave me a job. No, something, and we'll get to that because Tucker, it was strong enough that Diane says, no, you know what, we're done. I've completed my end of the bargain. And Tucker calmly said, no, you know what, I think not. Our arrangement is going to continue. For now, you're just going to give me information on Ashley. Ashley is the decoy. That's my gut. My gut is Tucker is using him wanting to make amends with Ashley as a decoy for what he's really doing. And I'm loving it because he's really going to do something. And I can't wait for that to kind of unfold. It was funny. We could all get against Ashlyn Locke and his deceitful ways. Where Tucker is pretty shrewd himself. It's just Tucker has ties to the Genoa City family. He's Catherine's son. So, we don't look at Tucker as bad. Some things we want Tucker to succeed. I mean, same way as Adam. Adam has ties. He's a bad guy, does bad things. But we do want Adam to succeed in some things because he's been treated, unjustly. He really has by the Newman family. He honestly has. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. And somebody wrote an excellent comment in Comment Corner. I'm going to circle back around to that. So Diane had the nerve to tell Tucker, I want to know exactly what your plan is where the Abbotts are concerned. And he's like, why is that? Because I am protective of the Abbotts. Oh, now you're protective. I guess you were protective all those months. You were providing information to Tucker. Okay? You weren't protective then, right? You weren't wondering then when you guys concocted your scheme to he helped, get back there to Genoa City. You weren't protective then. And doesn't it make you wonder why neither Jack or Allie have thought about it and said, how did you know Chemo? Diane, how did you know my father? Jack hasn't even said, how did you know my son, Diane? That you knew Allie was my daughter. Tell me that history, that information, though that because I want to know. What'd you do? Bump into Chemo on the street, and all of a sudden he looked at you and said, "Hey, I think you know an Abbott." I mean, how did she know? It's never come out, and that is so unlikely. The connection between Diane and Chemo, because all they talk about is Diane was instrumental in bringing Allie into his life. Well, there's way more to that story, and I'm surprised that they're not asking more of that story. That's interesting. So anyway, that's just another side note that I was thinking about, and I said, no, this whole Diane thing, it has some unfolding to do, and I'm finally happy they're speeding things along with that. They're moving it along. Then we had the scene, and this kind of pissed me off. Elena kind of pissed me off. She's looking like she's got somebody buried in the backyard, just defeated. And I don't recognize Nate anymore. It's ever since he left medicine, this, what he had turned into like negative qualities. She's telling Devon that it's turned into, this hunger for this ambition at any cost. She's like, no, she can't get with it. She can't, this version of Nate, she can't handle. And so Devon looked at her and he said, is something else really kind of going on? Because at work, I'm not seeing that in Nate. Nate at work is truly appearing to be really on board with with now really trying to work together and all of this. And he goes, what you're saying is kind of contradictory to this, right? And so he goes, that's why he asked her, is something more going on? And Elena's like, I have to go. Because Devon was like, Elena, you could talk to me. We're old friends. And she's like, old? He goes, well, young friends, But the fact of the matter is they are friends. So no, her silence is her co-signing with what's happening. She is just going to sit on the sidelines and let the destruction happen. Then when it's all said and done, guess who's going to be blamed as well as Nate is going to be blamed? Elena, you knew. You knew, and you knew better. You knew, and you completely knew it was wrong. That's why you left him, yet you didn't take the next steps and prevent him doing something illegal, because what Nate is doing is illegal. That can land him some jail time. Before Elena and Devon were talking, Nate was there talking to Elena. And, he said, are you getting settled in? And she says, I'm decidedly unsettled. And then he was like, well, you're the one that made the choice that, we needed space. And she goes, yeah, and you happily co-signed with it. And he goes, oh, was I supposed to forbid you to go? And she just looked at him like, for one, you couldn't forbid me. No. But, he then spouted, that canned statement Victoria told him when they were at the bar, that visionaries like them, people don't understand them, but they're very important to the business world. People may not agree with their tactics, but what we do is we provide jobs for people. We provide paychecks for people to send their kids to college. Nate had the nerve to say the exact same word for word to Elena that Victoria told him. And she just looked at him like, wow, who's talking to me right now? You know, because this has never been your train of thought all the time that I've known you and been with you. And now oh my goodness, she's just looking at him. And that's when Devon came in and Nate said, well, he had to get to the office. And Devon said, I'll see you there. Right. So Elena, I'm just not happy with her silence. I'm not happy in the least little bit. So Nate gets to the office and he sees Esther Valentine waiting there for him for Devon. And she says, "Hi, Nate." And, you know, they're talking, and she's giving him some Mrs. C history, and he's, you know, trying to um, pick her brain on things. He's really trying to worm his way into her good graces, or maybe inner confidence. And he goes, "Well, what does Devon want to meet with you for?" She goes, "You know, I don't know, but he asked me to come here." So she was happy to come. So Devon comes in and he's talking to Esther and he's telling her how much of how family she is. Catherine considered Esther family, and therefore that makes her his family as well. And what they're building at Chancellor Winters, he wanted, it's a family company, and he wanted Esther to be a part of that. She was so beside herself because last month she and Devon ran into each other at the coffee house. And she was just saying, yeah, that her grandchildren are now in school. So they don't need her as much. And she's really trying to find things to occupy her time, you know. But the highlight of her day is when they're out of school and she could do things for them. So Devon said, he says, you know what, I listened to what you were saying, and we have an opportunity that's arisen here. I want to bring you on. I want to make you a part of what we're building here. And she says, wait a minute, are you offering me a job? She jumps up. Yeah, I mean, yes, she is so happy. And I was actually like excited for Esther because I like Esther's character. And here's the thing, I believe Esther is going to be pivotal in uncovering what's happening. Because, question, when have you ever seen a secretary at Chancellor Winters, at just Chancellor before it was Chancellor Winters, as Newman Media? I mean, no, they were Chancecom. I've never seen a secretary at that front desk outside of Lily's office at all, ever. But now they're saying the secretary needs to go take some personal leave. And he says, I couldn't think of a better person than you. And I said, okay, Esther's going to be key in this storyline. And I can't think of a better person to play a part in saving Catherine Chancellor's legacy. That's going to be good to unfold. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that. And as she's walking out of the office, she looks at Devon and she says, this isn't as she's walking out, but she's just talking to him, telling him how much, you know, this meant to her. She would love to be a part of this. And Nate was actually kind of thinking like, because Devon was saying how important it is for family to just be a part of this. And part of that, Nate heard. It went in this ear, and his brain is putting it somewhere because Nate doesn't want to be with the program. He doesn't. But he heard it, and he can't unhear it, and he can't I think at some point Nate is going to feel guilty about what he's doing, but it'll be way too late and too many things will be in motion. Okay, because Olivia Winters slash Hastings slash whatever else, Olivia I think was married 3 times, she did not raise Nate like that. That's not the character of the young man she raised. So, but it was really good. And when Esther walked out the door, she turned and she says, Mrs. C would be so proud of you. And I just listened at, the way Devon was talking. He actually is a very good man. He took on Neil's quality. He learned from Neil and took on a lot of that. Because when Devon first came to the show, and I'm going back into some trivia, Y&R trivia here, can anybody remember how Devon came into the show? For one, it was not this actor. The Teen Devon was not him. It was Victor Newman that found Devon at a gym. Victor would box at this gym. And he found Devon. And either somehow Nate would box at the, I mean, not Nate, Neil would box at the gym sometime and spar with Victor. But either way, it was Victor that introduced this young man, Devon, an angry young man, alone. He was in foster care. I think he may have even been living on the streets, to Neil, and Neil took interest in Devon. So Devon really throughout the years has had to learn, learn values, learn the meaning of family. And he really learned it because they were not his family and they adopted him and took him in. And even though they adopted him, they allowed him to keep his last name. It was his choice. But that was, I was, when I was listening to him, he reminded me some of the qualities that Christophe St. John had as Neil. I mean, now Neil did go down some twists and turns. Neil made mistakes, but at its core, Neil Winters was a really good guy. So I'm happy to see where this might be going, everybody. I'm kind of excited about that. Now, what on a comedic end, who is really getting a kick out of these two amateur detectives? Phyllis is a much better cyber detective than she's being right now. But Nikki and Phyllis, they couldn't be inconspicuous if they tried, because they stick out like a sore thumb every time they put their heads together in public. People are thinking, you guys are mortal enemies, but they are putting pieces together. It's funny. I think different pieces are going to come together from different places where Tucker and Diane is concerned. And Nikki and Phyllis are playing a pivotal part. And, they're getting information. They are actually finding out things, and it's just keeping them going. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know if Kyle and Summer are actually going to go away on honeymoon, because they're now talking about, in a few weeks, we want to lay some things out before we do, go away. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know that time is going to come. But did you see the scene where everybody in that Abbott living room was just grinning from ear to ear? Oh, Kyle and Summer blissfully happy. Noah and Allie blissfully happy. Jack cheesing like a Cheshire cat. A bomb is getting ready to drop. A bomb is getting ready to drop to blow that all apart. And I'm wondering, what's the bomb gonna be? We're having the rumors, is Tucker gonna be Kyle gonna be Tucker's son? Like I said, that's gonna be some soap opera rewriting that we're all supposed to forget if that happens, but the news that Diane did not come back under the pretenses that she did, because Tucker's the kind of person, he'll blow up Diane's spot for amusement. He'll blow it up and not think twice and let her know how dispensable she truly, truly is. Victor, when Nick and Victoria told Victor that Tucker was back in town, and Victor said, Tucker McCall? Why? And Nick said, do you think he heard about the IPO? Because we need to rethink. Tucker McCall, he's, he could put some damage in. And the good thing is, see, nobody's listening to Nick, even though Nick is the voice of reason. And Tucker, but Victor said, this does put a different spin on things. I wonder what is he up to, right? So Victoria ends up calling Nate in, and Nate comes over and she says, okay, has Devon told you? No, Tucker McCall is in town and has, and he goes, wait, Tucker? Devon didn't tell me Tucker McCall was in town. So Victoria said, well, I've gathered he didn't tell you because you didn't tell me. Thinking, whoa, see, that's just how much you do report to Victoria, right? Nate, you also didn't tell her who you're going to have lunch with, Nate. So, Victoria will let you know, no, what I say goes. Oh, you thought you had idea? Well, that was stupid. But anyway, she got she says, he goes, well, maybe Devon doesn't know Tucker is in town. And so Victoria said, or maybe he does know and is just keeping you out of the loop. And so Nate is like, do you think it could have something to do with the IPO? And Victoria's like, that's what you're going to find out. That's what you're going to find out. What's Tucker McCall doing back here? So Nate's like, I'm on it. Okay, I'm on it. Okay, you're on it. Yeah, gonna be on it. But here's the deal. When you look at hostile takeovers and people to help, if the Newmans were doing an in run on Chancellor Winters and Nate is the Benedict Arnold helping, Devon is not strong enough or cunning enough or has enough experience with that type of behavior in the business world. Devon will be stumped, but not Tucker. See, Devon's daddy, because that's the kind of stuff he does, he will be the one to help them or take it from them altogether. But he would look, if he took it from from Devon and Lily, he would give it to his son. Tucker would give that to Devon, but he's cunning enough to pose a huge, huge monkey wrenching problem. And then in comment corner, great comment, I can't wait to get to it. When you think about if Tucker has some designs on Jabot, just like Jack does not have the skill to defeat Ashlyn Locke. I mean, Jack never really beat Victor Newman even, right? Jack could not beat Tucker McCall if Tucker truly wanted to pose some problems. Because one thing Victor said, yeah, Tucker appeared to have divested himself of his business holdings because he gave Devon the whole music company and all that. That's how Devon got that, was Tucker gave him his music company before he inherited everything from Catherine. Catherine was still alive when Devon got the music portion. Well, the one person, which is interesting, that's in Jabot right now, that's cunning enough and ruthless enough to give Tucker a run for his money is Adam Newman. Isn't it interesting how we have the good and evil getting set up in these different companies for the battle? I'm liking this. They can do a lot with this whole storyline. I mean, I'm hoping the writers start thinking really out the box to give us some really, really good entertainment, because there could be some good stuff coming. Oh my goodness. Well, let's go to Comic Corner. Comic Corner. We have Monique says Connor acts more mature than the adults on the show. You would think Connor lived another life before. He's a grown man trapped in a kid's body. Yeah, and Connor gets a little bit devious when he thinks about locking your kid in a garage, right? Yeah, gotta watch that, Connor. Yeah. He's so aware. Um, he's aware more than the adults on the show. He's more aware of things more than the adults on the show. And then Robin says, "This is the recap I was looking forward to because I love it when you tell it all." Connor and Tucker were the highlights of the episode. Yeah, I did like Connor on yesterday's episode. He was pretty good, and he ain't done either. Not done. Um, and then Jennifer answered my question, because I said, who was the person that took Billy up on top of there? Because that wasn't the first time. It was Amanda. Oh my goodness, it was Amanda. And I'm telling you, of the twins, I liked Amanda's character so much better, more than Hillary's. Hillary, there's just nothing. They haven't even put this whole "want to find my mama" storyline. It just was nothing. It was horrible to me, and it's reduced her to nothingness, really. To this, I'm a CNA aide. My mama's in a coma in a home, but the only thing I can do is just sit there day in day. I don't know. No, I don't get it. And then Jennifer said the lawyer who found out she has a sister. I can't remember her name. Yeah, it was Amanda. Um, it was Hillary's sister Amanda took Billy up there. So thank you guys. See, this is why I love Comic Corner. I love the episode, because some things that I forget we can ask, and somebody out there, somebody in Young and the Restless recap land knows it. And I love the fact that we can refresh each other's memories, right? And then LaShefta says, Nate ain't nothing. He told Devon that Elena wanted him to leave work. Devon is suspicious. Poor Esther is getting played. Nah, Esther's more cunning than you think. Nate is going to try to get information out of Esther. Esther's intuitions are usually pretty good. I'm loving Esther being put in the mix, because she's going to be pivotal and key. And then LaShefta says, Elena's making me mad. Devon deserves her loyalty. Yes, Devon does. And not just Devon, it's the family company. It's Lily too. It's their legacy. It's their legacy that deserves her loyalty. Anyway, her talking to the Devon was like pulling teeth. Yep, you're right. Diane is a mess. Now she knows she's been feeding Tucker information about the Abbotts. Yeah, she does know that. Nikki and Phyllis got Diane's number. They're putting the pieces together. They're putting some of those pieces together. Yeah. It says, I thought Connor was away at school. Why are they all in hotels and he's at the ranch? Well, no, Connor's been back for the whole summer. Nope. Adam put him in summer camp. Connor came back. Connor's actually been back from school. Adam and him were living with Nikki and Victor. And then Chelsea came back. And then Adam put Connor in a summer camp without telling Chelsea. And she was mad because she wanted to go see him, and she had to get permission to go see him, because, they don't just let anybody come see your kid at summer camp. So let's see. And so then Adam just left him on the ranch, which was interesting to me, because Adam has money. Adam could rent an apartment. Hello? You have custody. You don't want your ex to have your son, but you leave him with your father who you can't stand, that you moved out of the house from, and your father's wife who, I don't know, Nikki doesn't treat children badly, but have we ever seen her remotely speak to Connor? Has she treated him like a grandson? Because they're quick to adopt other people's kids in the Newman family, but I don't know. I think she tolerates Connor. So then we have Medora. Amanda took Billy to the roof. You're right. Jack is no match. We're talking about from Tucker, but Medora says, but Adam would be able to fight Trevor. You are right. And match his dirty ways. So we've got Adam could fight Tucker. And I said, well, she said Trevor as in Trevor St. John, but Tucker. Adam could fight Tucker if need be. Good match. Tucker can save Chancellor by knocking Newman right out the park. So we've got some good stuff, some good possibilities. I'm actually a little bit excited about The Young and the Restless. We shall see, because hopefully they make it move. Don't drag it out. Make this move, because can't stand it when it drags out. It's like watching paint dry, everybody's story. So that's it, everyone. I can't wait for Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless. I will be back tomorrow.